4.4, we're factoring, factoring again, but this time a is not equal to 1. So like this one, I got 4x squared minus 8x, and then when I add my 3 over, I got plus 3 equal to 0. If you remember from 9th grade, they gave you this little card and it's got the x on it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So we make our x, and in the top we put the first times the last. So I got 4 times 3 and I get 12. And then the bottom one I put negative 8. Now I think to myself, what multiplies to be 12 and adds to be negative 8? Well, that would be negative 6 and negative 2. So those are what I'm going to replace this with. So instead of 4x squared minus 8x, I got 4x squared minus 6x minus 2x plus 3 equals 0. So now I can do a kind of grouping situation here. So if I look at the first two, what do they have in common that I can take out? 2 and x. So if I take out 2x, I'm left with 2x minus 3, which I have to keep over here, 2x minus 3. And what do I multiply by so that 2x becomes negative 2x? That'd just be a negative 1. So my two factors are 2x minus 1 and 2x minus 3 equal to 0. Now to get my answer, I have to set both of these equal to 0. So my first one, I got 2x minus 1 equals 0. I'm going to add 1, I get 2x equals 1. My first answer is x equals 1/2. Second one, I add 3 over, so I got 2x equals 3. So then my answer is 3/2. Let's do it again. We got to subtract x and subtract 8. So I got 12x squared plus 6x minus 6 equals 0. If I make my x, do 12 times negative 6, I get negative 72. On the bottom, I put my middle one, which is 6. And I think to myself, what multiplies to be negative 72 and adds to be 6? Well, I got 12 and negative 6. So my equation becomes this. So I change 12x squared plus 12x minus 6x minus 6 equals 0. Now I can do my grouping. I look at the first two. What do they have in common that I can take out? A 12x. I'm left with x plus 1, which also has to be over here. They have to be the same. So then what do I multiply by so that x becomes negative 6x? That would be negative 6. So my two factors are 12x minus 6 and x plus 1 equal to 0. So my two answers, x equals negative 1 for this one. And this one I add 6 over and divide by 12. I get 6 over 12, which is 1/2. Okay, one more. Ugh, the glare. Don't like it. This thing. Here we go. Okay, you are making a rectangular quilt that is 5 feet by 4 feet. You want to use the remaining 10 feet of fabric to add a decorative border of uniform, so of the same length, around the quilt. What should the width of the quilt's border edge be? So, my quilt, if I draw my picture, is like this, and it's going to be 5 by 4. Then I'm adding myself a border edge that's going to be, I don't know how long, on each side, so I use X. So then this side is 4 plus this X plus this X. So 4 plus X, and I get 4 plus 2X. This side down here I have 5 plus X, so I got 2X plus 5. So now when I find my area, my original area is just 5 by 4, which equals 20, and I want to add 10 more feet, so I want this whole thing to be 30. So my area would be 2x plus 4 times 2x plus 5 equal to 30, because that's what I want the whole thing to be. Now I'm going to FOIL 4x squared plus 10x plus 8x, so I got plus 18x plus 20 equals 30. And then I subtract my 30 over, so I got 4x squared plus 18x minus 10 equals 0, because I subtracted it over. So now I can do my x. So looking at this thing, negative 40 and 18. So it multiplies to be negative 40 and adds to be 18. Ooh, 20 and 2. So I rewrite this as 4x squared plus 20x, minus 2. Minus 2x minus 10 equal to 0. So if I look at the first two, what do they have in common that I can take out? 4 and x, and I'm left with x plus 5. X plus 5 also has to be over here. What am I going to multiply by so that x becomes negative 2x, negative 2. So my two factors are 4x minus 2 and x plus 5 equal to 0. So my answers, negative 5 and 1/2. Well, I can't have a negative answer, so it has to be 1/2. I'm adding a 1/2 inch, 1/2 foot decorative border around that thing.